What's up, YouTube? This is Mathos97 and welcome to the Elimination Chamber. That's right, the pay-per-view is finally upon us. It is the last pit stop before WrestleMania, and no, it is not Fastlane. And this is, of course, episode number 28 of my WWE 2K15 Universe Mode. And what a pay-per-view we have set in store for you here tonight. Kicking things off with the Intercontinental Championship match between the Wrecking Ball, Ryback, and his opponent, formerly known as the Dashing One, Cody Rhodes. And of course, Cody Rhodes, you know his story. He's come a long way to get to this point. But before we get any further, I of course want to let you know, as in every pay-per-view video, there will be a down in the description the times that each match will take place in the episode. They're going to be down there in the description, so say if you want to skip ahead to Elimination Chamber matches, well, it's going to be down there in the description for you. So go down there. If you don't feel like watching this matchup, you can go ahead, click the match you want to see, and you can go check it out. Or if you're sticking it out here for the long haul, if you're going to be here for the full episode, well then and even still, you can go down there and see, what the match card is. You can see who faces who, when it's going to happen, in what order. But anyway, also, later on tonight, we will be seeing United States Championship be defended when Alberto Del Rio faces off against Cesaro. We've got 2 Elimination Chamber matches. The first being for the WWE Championship, which will be contested between John Cena, Batista, Kane, The Rock, Dolph Ziggler, and Jack Swagger. Then, of course, there's the World Heavyweight Championship Elimination Chamber, which will feature the likes of Edge and Christian, Mark Henry, Wade Barrett, Sheamus, and Chris Jericho. So, those are 2 star-studded Elimination Chamber matchups. But we're kicking things off here tonight with the Intercontinental Championship matchup. And this is huge, because this is the first time that Jack Swagger has not opened up a pay-per-view. Yep, from Extreme Rules all the way up to the Royal Rumble, Jack Swagger had always competed in the very first matchup on the pay-per-view. No, not counting pre-shows, of course. But Jack Swagger was always the man to kick off the pay-per-views. But tonight, it looks like he passes that torch to one of these 2 men, as it's Ryback and Cody Rhodes for the Intercontinental Championship to kick off the pay-per-view. So, this is a historical moment here in Universe Mode, as it's the first time Jack Swagger doesn't open you. The long tradition has come to an end after 10 months of Jack Swagger opening up the pay-per-views. Well, that tradition finally comes to an end here tonight at the Elimination Chamber. But, this must mean that big things are in store. We've broken the past ways this pay-per-view has gone. Swagger no longer kicking off the pay-per-view. One could say this begins a new era mode. And what a way to kick off that new era if Cody Rhodes could defeat Ryback here tonight and finally attain that Intercontinental Championship goal that has eluded him ever since the start of Universe Mode, ever since Extreme Rules in the triple threat match against The Miz and Christian, where Christian pinned Cody Rhodes to capture the title. Ever since then, Cody Rhodes, he struggled to get back to this point. He struggled to get back on top of the pedestal to make it back to an Intercontinental Championship matchup here. And oh, wait a minute. Look at Ryback. Look at the strength of Ryback with a big-time powerbomb, sending Cody Rhodes crashing down to the mat with full force. But of course, Cody Rhodes, this is going to be no easy task, as he takes on the man who defeated Christian for the Intercontinental Championship, and that is Ryback. And you gotta remember, the rematch at Night of Champions, where Ryback took 3 kill switches, kicked out of all 3 of them, and then proceeded to defeat Christian with a shell shock. So, Cody Rhodes, he's going to have a huge task ahead of him, a very tough opponent here tonight. But wait a minute, Cody Rhodes wasting a little time as he takes Ryback down with an Alabama Slammer. And that could be it, possibly. Cody Rhodes thinks he might have him here. 2 count. Ryback gets at it too. Cody Rhodes just trying to wear down Ryback here a little bit. Try to force him to expend energy in the kick out. And Cody Rhodes hits the crossroads. Could Cody Rhodes potentially be on the verge of the next Intercontinental Champion? No. Ryback kicks out, and oh, look at this. Oh, what at that. What a knee lift that was from Cody Rhodes, as I'm losing my English here, apparently. But Ryback now, Ryback. Oh, look at the strength of Ryback. Oh, what a move of military press slam. Goes into the cover, but Cody Rhodes had his foot under the bottom rope. I mean, Ryback almost completely no-selling that crossroads, and that just shows what kind of damage you're going to have to do to Ryback to put him away when the title's on the line. I mean, Ryback's a completely different person when that bell rings and the match is for his Intercontinental Championship. Does Cody Rhodes have what it takes to beat Ryback for the title? As there's another military press slam, or is it gorilla press? One or the other. I think they're the same thing. But Ryback now just delivers the elbows to the shoulder blades of Cody Rhodes. And Ryback now counter from Rhodes as Rhodes delivers a nice knee lift right to the gut of Ryback. But Ryback, with a nice counter, tosses Rhodes over the top rope and then takes him off the ropes with a jaw-jacking punch. A haymaker shot right to the jaw of Cody Rhodes. And now look at Ryback. Ryback going for something here, but Cody Rhodes manages to counter and create some distance between himself and Ryback. And now a big running bulldog out onto the floor. And that's only just going to amplify the amount of damage inflicted by that attack. And now Rhodes delivers a big punch to the face. The Ryback sidesteps a drop kick and takes Rhodes down with a clothesline. And right now, the Human Wrecking Ball getting back into the rings. It looks like he's in control. Cody Rhodes is dazed right now. He's out on his feet. The referee that's now a 7 count. But Cody Rhodes, he's going to make his way back into the ring, back into this matchup. And of course, that's where Ryback has the champion's advantage. He does not have to win this match to retain the title. I mean, he could lose by countout or disqualification, but I don't think that's going to matter to Ryback here, because Ryback, he's looking to finish it. He's looking to put Cody Rhodes out cold here as he's marching around the ring, and he delivers a shell shock to Cody Rhodes, and that should do it here, folks. 1, 2, 3, and Ryback emphatically retains the Intercontinental Championship. Although, he didn't escape this matchup unscathed. As you can see, he's wearing the wounds of this matchup on his forehead as Cody Rhodes busted him open during the matchup. But nonetheless, Cody Rhodes just didn't quite have what it took here tonight to beat Ryback. So Cody Rhodes, after all the effort that he went through to get to this point, just like that, in a matter of 3 seconds, Ryback has shut down Cody Rhodes once again. And Cody Rhodes now, he's going to have to get back. He's going to have to rebound quickly if he wants to have any hope of capturing that Intercontinental Championship from Ryback. But as for Ryback, his dominating title reign continues here tonight as Ryback, he's just been on a path of destruction ever since winning the title all the way back at the SummerSlam pay-per-view. He has held that championship for 168 days. And for those of you who don't know, that in fact ties the record for the longest championship reign here in Universe Mode, tying Jack Swagger's United States Championship run that lasted from Extreme Rules all the way up to No Way Out. So there's a big victory for Ryback, a historic victory for Ryback, as now, unless he were to lose the title tomorrow night on Raw, which is impossible considering he's a SmackDown superstar, Ryback's going to break Jack Swagger's record as the Intercontinental Champion. He's going to break the longest reigning championship stint as the champion. As, tomorrow that record that Jack Swagger had since the beginning of mode will be broken with Ryback. I mean, now once he goes to WrestleMania, he's going to have his own record as the longest reigning champion to Universe Mode to date. But what about this champion? So we go ahead and move on into the Divas Championship triple threat matchup, as this is between Summer Rae, Brie Bella, and AJ Lee. And speaking of champions, Summer Rae won this title on the final episode, the season finale of WWE 2K15 Universe Mode, when she won a fatal 4-way against Kaitlyn, Natalya, and Nikki Bella. Of course, the former champion Kaitlyn was injured during that matchup. We haven't seen or heard from her since. And Summer Rae, since then, she's managed to defeat Natalya at the Royal Rumble to retain the title. So Summer Rae, she's built up a nice title reign for herself. Of course, in the past, each Divas champion has held the title for, about the same amount of time. If we take a look back, Beth Phoenix, Natalya, and Caitlyn all held the Divas Championship for about 84 days in total, which is about the span of 3 months. I'm trying to do math in my head at the moment, which is difficult when you're trying to do commentary and keep talking. But yeah, that would be the span of 3 months, considering in the Universe Mode schedule, each month is 28 days. So that would count up to a grand total of 3 months as champion. So now, as I'm thinking this in my head, that doesn't sound right. I have to do this in my head. I have to do this out loud now so I can get this right. My username is MathWiz, but when you're trying to talk and have convincing commentary and all that, it's kind of difficult to do math just in your head. I don't know. Maybe I'll just plug it here. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. I have this all ready, all my technology I have at my fingertips for just such an occasion. But while I do that, let's take a look at the matchup at hand, as it is AJ Lee versus Ray versus Brie Bella for the Divas Championship. And yes, 28 days in a month makes 3 months for 84 days. So each Divas champion has held the title for 3 months at this point. And, it's not really much of a statistic, I guess. It is kind of interesting that every Divas champion to this point in the series has been blonde. So tonight, that tradition could also potentially be broken if Brie Bella or AJ Lee could win the title here tonight. But I don't know, to some people that may be irrelevant. I just thought it was kind of a little fun fact of Universe Mode. But let's focus in on the match at hand now. As we can remember, we take you back to the very first episode of Raw, prior to the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. After the Royal Rumble, I should say, not prior to. But back when it was Brie Bella supposed to be competing in a match against Naomi, we did see Brie Bella win that matchup. However, Summer Rae did attack Naomi before the match. And then after that, Brie Bella did manage to pick up a couple of victories, which really placed her at the top of the contenders list. I mean, considering a lot of the divas we have in the division now, we've got more upstarts like Paige, Tamina, the Funkadactyls, who really haven't quite established themselves yet in Universe Mode. So really, that just left Natalya, AJ, and the Bellas in terms of who would be immediately next on the list to challenge Summer Rae for the Divas Championship after Summer Rae defeated Natalya at the Royal Rumble. So that rules Natalya out, which basically left the Bellas and AJ. And Brie Bella definitely took the ball and ran with it, and she made herself worthy of this matchup by, winning her fair share of matches in the past month. It's AJ Lee. In the month of January, she may have struggled a little bit, but she did manage to turn things around this month, pick up enough victories, including a victory over one of her opponents here tonight, Brie Bella, on an episode of SmackDown. So AJ and Brie both, there was really no clear-cut contender for this title, which is why we have our triple threat matchup here tonight. But as we can see right now, as you can see, this is what's going to happen in a triple threat matchup. You may see temporary alliances, but in the end, it's every woman for herself. And you always got to watch your back. You got to have eyes in the back of your head in this kind of matchup, because you never know when you're going to get ambushed from behind. And at the same time, it might not hurt to try to eliminate one of the competitors from the contest, because obviously you're not going to be able to pin one of your opponents while the other one is just going to stand by and watch, twiddle their thumbs. No, you got to make sure you take out both of your opponents if you want to have any hope of winning, or in Summer Rae's case, retaining that Divas Championship. But a running bulldog there from AJ Lee, taking down Summer Rae. And right now, Summer Rae is taking kind of the brunt of this attack. She's taking the full force of these attacks by Brie Bella and AJ, although Brie Bella now takes AJ from behind with a bulldog there, but Summer Rae quickly gets there to break it up, and that's just as I was saying. You got to make sure you incapacitate both of your opponents to be able to win this matchup. But now look at Brie Bella. Oh, elbow right to the face, and she takes Summer Rae down with a nice side Russian leg sweep there. But look at AJ. AJ going after Brie Bella, and she takes her down. with that hit, just bouncing the head of Brie Bella back off the mat. One of AJ's signature maneuvers. And now she's got Summer Rae over there in the corner. What could she be planning here is, oh, she's caught Summer Rae. And look at AJ. Oh, she takes Summer Rae down with the Hurricanrana from that top rope there. Shades of one of my favorite divas, one of my favorite women's wrestlers of all time, Mickie James. As now we can see AJ just measuring Summer Rae here. She could be going for something big. Oh, look at this. AJ, she's got the Black Widow locked in. A move all of her own. And oh, you know, Summer Rae, I think, may have tapped out there if it wasn't for Brie Bella making the save. But now AJ goes for the cover, but Brie Bella gets in to break it up. I mean, that's just what I was saying. AJ, she had a good opportunity there to possibly put Summer Rae away, but because Brie Bella was there to break up the pinfall, or break up the submission attempt, I should say, there was nothing really AJ could do, and that's why, you know, you got to make sure that your other opponent stays down and gets out of this matchup. Otherwise, you know, things could get dicey for you, because not only could you take your opponent out of the equation, but then, you know, that third opponent could take you out from behind just like that, and you could be out of this matchup. And now look at this. Brie Bella off the Bella Buster. She rolls up Summer Rae. 2 count. And she got her. Brie Bella has knocked off Summer Rae here tonight. She got, after hitting the Bella Buster on AJ, AJ was out of the match. I mean, she couldn't get back to her feet. She was unconscious by that point. And even though Summer Rae managed to sneak in and break up the pinfall, well, Brie Bella just turned right around, countered, and rolled up Summer Rae for the victory. Which means we have a new Divas champion in Brie Bella. So, we finally have a non-blonde Divas champion, and we finally have a Divas champion who held the title for more or less than 3 months. Of course, for Summer Rae, this being only a 2-month title reign. But nonetheless, Summer Rae, I think she made her presence known. She made a name for herself in the time she was Divas champion. But right there, Brie Bella, she knew AJ was going to be down and out for a couple more minutes, a couple moments, and she used that opportunity to catch Summer Rae off guard and roll her up for the 3 count. But even so, Summer Rae took really the full force of the attack from both of these two divas, so it was only a matter of time as the match would go on that Summer Rae would be, you know, singled out as the weakest opponent in this matchup. I mean, she was the main target champ. And truly, that definitely paid off for Brie Bella here tonight, as she wins her first ever Divas Championship here in Universe Mode. So that's a big victory there for Brie Bella. But now it is time that we move on to something far more severe, far more intense than what we just saw. And that is that of the Elimination Chamber match. And we're kicking this off as it's John Cena and Batista squaring off. They're going to go head-to-head to start off this matchup. But I mean, wow. Think of the build-up, the suspense we've had heading into this pay-per-view. I mean, first of all, the first man to qualify, well, to actually qualify, was Kane when he defeated The Rock in a one-on-one matchup. That was quite the upset victory for Kane. Not to mention the fact that Kane defeated the Royal Rumble winner, CM Punk, on the last episode of Raw. So Kane really has all the momentum in his corner. I think he could be a potential dark horse to win this matchup. However, we take a look at one of the 2 men starting in the ring, and that is the Animal Batista, who is granted an opportunity by Paul Heyman. Now, you got to think when Batista signed over here to Raw, that he struck some sort of deal with Paul Heyman that gave him some sort of opportunity at the WWE Championship. And although Batista failed to capture the title at the Royal Rumble, Batista somehow made his way back into another WWE title opportunity here tonight at the Elimination Chamber. Then we take a look at the man who just entered, Dolph Ziggler. I mean, really, this just applies to 3 of our 6 competitors. That also applies to Jack Swagger and The Rock, where the Shield was also looking potentially to qualify for this matchup. But in the end, it came down to a one-on-one matchup between The Rock and Roman Reigns to determine which 3 would, whether it would be Shield or whether it would be The Rock, Ziggler, and Jack Swagger. And in the end, due to some interference by the Wyatt family, you know, we didn't see what happened when the lights went out, but it was obvious that the Wyatt family was behind the attack on Roman Reigns. Whatever happened, I mean, The Rock was also knocked down, but it gave The Rock an opportunity, gave him an opening to put away Roman Reigns and score the victory for Ziggler, Swagger, and himself to qualify for the match. And then, of course, we have John Cena, who has been the WWE Champion since he defeated The Undertaker back at Survivor Series. John Cena, in fact, is a two-time WWE Champion, and he's currently developed himself a title reign of 84 days after winning the belts at Survivor Series. So, I mean, that reign could potentially continue tonight, but regardless of what the outcome of this matchup is, somebody will be advancing to WrestleMania to potentially main event as the WWE Champion. Of course, it all depends on who CM Punk chooses to face. Will he face the World Heavyweight Champion, or will he face the WWE Champion? And I think it could all depend on whoever wins the Elimination Chamber matches here tonight. Because, I mean, obviously CM Punk, he gets that choice. So, I mean, maybe Punk will try to go after the weaker champion, or perhaps he'll go after the better champion just to test his abilities, prove that he is the best in the world. And, I mean, what if John Cena would win this match? Think about Punk's history with John Cena. I mean, they've faced off several times in the past. I can think of at least 3 times these two men faced off, and John Cena won 2 of those matches. One of them being at SummerSlam in a WWE Championship #1 Contenders match. So, I mean, you got to think CM Punk, he's got a bit of a beef with John Cena. He's got his with Cena, and you could think that Punk would love nothing more than to face John Cena at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. But also, I mean, take a look at some of the other superstars we have in this matchup. We have Jack Swagger, we have Dolph Ziggler, 2 men who I'm sure CM Punk could put on a clinic with in that ring and could definitely steal the show. So, you know, I think he could also potentially, you know, look to try to test his abilities against one of the younger, more upstart talents here in the Universe Mode. You know, the future of the WWE. And we also take a look at somebody like Batista, someone, I guess you could also kind of throw The Rock in that category, where they've just been kind of handed these opportunities at main event spots. I mean, you gotta think, I mean, after The Rock, I mean, he lost his opportunity against Kane, but yet he still managed to make his way into this Elimination Chamber matchup. Although, you know, I don't think it was really just Paul Heyman just kind of getting The Rock in this match like it was Batista, or Batista just kind of, I mean, he lost to Daniel Bryan at TLC. And then he lost to John Cena at the Royal Rumble, so, you know, Punk could be kind of thinking, you know, Batista, does he really deserve these WWE Championship opportunities? I mean, he's taking opportunities away from younger talent like Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger, talent who've yet to make a name for themselves in this business. But I don't know. This is just me kind of trying to put myself in Punk's place. And then we've got Kane, who I'm sure Punk would love nothing more than to get his revenge on Kane. As we can see, Dolph Ziggler got busted open at some point in this matchup. Didn't see when that happened, but nonetheless, that just shows the brutality of the Elimination Chamber that these men are faced with when they enter this kind of environment. But it's all for the WWE Championship. Each of these 6 men know what they signed up for, and I'm sure they will regret nothing that happens in this matchup, because they all want to become the WWE Champion. They all want to be at WrestleMania. They want to main event WrestleMania as the WWE Champion. As we can see right now, Jack Swagger, what a move there. A nice spinning fisherman suplex, taking the Rock down. As we can see, Ziggler goes for the cover on Batista. Batista kicks out. And now Rock's over there in the corner, but oh, he catches the leg of Swagger. And now went for the clothesline, but Swagger with a huge counter, taking the Rock down. I mean, wow, we've just got a bunch of varying styles in this matchup. We've got someone like John Cena and Kane, who are a bit more powerhouse-based. So we can see Kane down with a half Nelson neck breaker. I guess Batista also falls in that category. Ziggler with a cover on Kane. Kane kicks at it too. And then we've got somebody like a Dolph Ziggler or a Jack Swagger, who's a lot more technical based. And then we've just got someone who's got the presence of The Rock. I mean, The Rock, he's got the most experience out of any of these men here in this matchup as for, you know, like in-ring experience. I mean, The Rock, he competed back in the Attitude Era, and he's faced some of the best in this industry. So you got to think The Rock definitely has an experience advantage over every other participant in this matchup. Of course, we also got to think that John Cena, he's got his fair share of experience in that ring. I mean, he's been the face of the WWE for about a decade now. And as we can see, Swagger goes for the cover on Ziggler, but a kick out by Dolph Ziggler. And now Kane goes for the cover on Batista. but only a 1 count as Batista manages to just power out there. And now look at Swagger, big time German suplex, taking Dolph Ziggler down to the mat. And look at Kane. Kane, he's got that glove in the face of Batista, trying to make him pass out here. We saw this is the move Kane used to beat CM Punk on Raw. And Batista's out of it. Batista has gone unconscious, and the referee has had no choice but to eliminate Batista from this matchup. Which means we're down to 5. Look at Jack Swagger off the ropes. Swagger bomb to John Cena. And The Rock and Dolph Ziggler having an exchange right now. Kane going for a chokeslam, but Swagger countered and took Kane down. As we can see, after Ziggler and The Rock were kind of exchanging positions there, both men managed to kick out, stay alive in this matchup. Right now, we're down to 5. As the effects of this matchup begin to take their toll, fatigue begins to set in. Rock goes for a cover on Cena, but only a 2 count as Cena kicks out. And right now, I think heading into this matchup, we've seen a lot of superstars build a fair share of momentum for themselves. But I have to say, the favorites in terms of who's had the most momentum heading into this matchup, I think it would have to be between Swagger and Kane. As, oh, what a counter there by Ziggler. Countered, looked like Swagger was going for some sort of spear, but Ziggler countered into a DDT. And another half Nelson neckbreaker there by John Cena to Kane. This could put the big red machine away. 2 count, and no, Kane kicks out once again, and just manages to stay alive in this matchup. And now look at Ziggler, a nice counter to The Rock, taking him down. And look at that, John Cena was going for the attitude adjustment. Kane caught him right in the face with a big boot. John Cena almost ran right into that one. And that really could take Cena out of this matchup. I mean, he's dazed right now. Jack Swagger maybe looking for a powerbomb, but Kane counters with a DDT. And Rock just hit a spine buster on Dolph Ziggler. And wait a minute. Oh no. John Cena hits an attitude adjustment. And off the spine buster. I don't think there's any way Ziggler can kick out of that one. And indeed he does not. A spine buster into an attitude adjustment. And Dolph Ziggler didn't even have a chance there. And I mean, plus he was busted open. I mean, Ziggler, he dealt with a lot of punishment in this matchup. Nonetheless, had an impressive performance in this matchup. As we're down to 4. It is Kane, Jack Swagger, John Cena, and The Rock. So right now, Kane gets an elbow right to the side of the head by Swagger. The Swagger counter, whatever Kane was going for, but look at this. Look at this, Kane, the glove to the face of Jack Swagger. The same move that made Batista pass out earlier on. And it looks like it's to Jack Swagger. And Jack Swagger is out of this matchup. We are down to 3. It is Kane, The Rock, and John Cena, as both men looking to hit finishers on Cena. But it's Rock with a rock bottom. Takes John Cena down. Cover by The Rock. 1, 2, 3. And we are going to have a new WWE champion here. John Cena has just been eliminated from this contest. We are down to The Rock, the People's Champion, and the Big Red Machine, Kane. Who is going to walk out of this matchup the WWE Champion, going to WrestleMania to defend the title? Here we go. The Rock went for a punch, but Kane countered with a haymaker shot of his own. And a big-time DDT drops The Rock. And Kane now. Kane is in control. He's in position. He's looking to finish off The Rock here with a choke slam, perhaps. And he's got him by the throat. But wait a minute, Rock counters the choke slam with a DDT. And Kane's in a lot of trouble here. The Rock, can he capitalize? He's going for the rock bottom, and he hits it. Rock could be the next WWE champion. 1, 2, 3. And The Rock has become the new WWE champion. His quest for redemption here in the WWE, here in Universe Mode, has finally come to fruition. After losing to The Shield at Survivor Series, winning his matchup at TLC against R-Truth, and not being able to get the victory in the Royal Rumble, getting eliminated early on, and then finally, after defeating Roman Reigns on Raw to qualify for the Chamber, The Rock's journey has finally come full circle, and he has captured the coveted WWE Championship, bringing an end to John Cena's reign as the face of Monday Night Raw, as The Rock has claimed that title for himself, as he has won the championship here tonight at the Elimination Chamber. Wow, what a match that was. the first of our 2 Elimination Chambers here tonight, and we've got a new champion. As the title, I mean, we saw the Divas Championship change hands earlier on, and now the WWE Championship changes hands as well. So this is a big victory, huge statement for The Rock. And now it is time to move on to our Tag Team Championship matchup here tonight, as it is the Wyatt family, the reigning defending Tag Team Champions, defending against none other than Booker T and Goldust. I know. I mean, I was surprised when Booker and Goldust defeated the Wyatt family on Monday Night Raw a couple of weeks ago. And now here tonight, they have the potential to become the next WWE Tag Team Champions here in Universe Mode. Wow. Just think about it. But this time last month, Booker T was returning to the Royal Rumble, where he eliminated 5 competitors in his stint in the Rumble. I mean, Booker T, he lasted over 21 minutes. Very strong performance for Booker T in that Rumble match. One of the participants in the Rumble that he eliminated was, in fact, Luke Harper. And then, of course, we take you forward to that episode of Raw where Booker T hit the scissors kick on Eric Rowan and scored the victory for Booker T and Goldust. So Booker T, it appears as though he's had the Wyatt family's number this past month. But none of that matters now, as, you know, if he can't get the job done here tonight, if he and Goldust cannot defeat the Wyatt family tonight, then really none of those victories matter. If they can't come up in the clutch and pick up the tag team title victory. But now making his way down to the ring here at the Elimination Chamber is Booker T, the 5-time WCW champion here in Universe Mode. Finally is competing here on a pay-per-view for the tag team championships. And I mean, wow, Booker T definitely probably the most shocking appearance at the Royal Rumble. And, you know, arguably could have been one of the most shocking appearances in Universe Mode to date. I mean, of course, that's rivaled with the likes of Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, and The Rock, who I would say probably would be higher up on the list than Booker T. And, of course, well, we can't even forget what happened on the Elimination Chamber pre-show. I'm not going to spoil that for those of you who haven't seen the pre-show, but definitely should go check it out, because it was definitely something monumental here in Universe Mode. But I have to say, after those two, I'd say Booker T would probably be, he'd be on that list. He'd be up there, maybe third on the list for the shocking moments in the first year of Universe Mode. But tonight, I mean, this could be a huge OMG moment. I mean, just a huge, who would think that Goldust and Booker T could be the teams to finally defeat the Wyatt family for the tag team titles? I mean, this could be a huge shocking moment here tonight if these two men can defeat the Wyatt family and capture the tag team titles. I mean, they are a former tag team that competed over a decade ago, but now, I mean, if they could, somehow manage to get back on the same page, work together as a cohesive unit, and manage to take down the Wyatt family, well, that would be something spectacular, I think. But as of this moment, the Wyatt family have held those tag team championships since the No Way Out pay-per-view back in October, which was, right now they're at a reign, the longest tag team championship reign here in Universe Mode, as they've held the titles for 112 days. Of course, I mean, they've held those titles for a long time. No Way Out was way back in October. It is now February here for the Elimination Chamber. So, I mean, tonight, Goldust and Booker T, they've got a huge task ahead of them. I mean, because beating the Wyatt family is going to be no easy, it's no easy feat. It's easier said than done. So, I mean, are they up to the task? Do they have what it takes to get the win over the Wyatt family? We're just going to have to wait and find out as here we go. This match gets underway. Eric Rowan looking for some revenge against Booker T, as these two men are going to start this matchup off. Wyatt family, they've held the titles for 4 months up to this point, which has been no easy feat, as we've seen in the tag team division in the past. And prior to them, the longest reigning champions were Tons of Funk, who held the title for about half of that. Length. So, I mean, really, the Wyatt family, they've done a good job at maintaining stability here in the tag team division and managing to defend those tag team titles on a regular basis. They've defeated the likes of Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio. Tons of Funk, of course, to win the titles. Defeated the Primetime Players twice. And now they could potentially add Goldust and Booker T to that list of tag teams that they've defeated. Right now, momentum is in the corner of Goldust and Booker T as Goldust delivers a kick to the gut of Eric Rowan. And there's that uppercut from Goldust. That's vintage Goldust right there. And now Goldust, he tags in Booker T. And now the 5-time WCW champion back into the ring as he delivers a nice clothesline there to Eric Rowan. And drops a forearm now right to the face of Rowan. As right now the Wyatt family's in a bit of trouble here, but a big clothesline there from Eric Rowan really just threw Booker T for a loop. Just took him down. And Booker now, he's got to make a tag. As he tags in Goldust to give himself a bit of time to recover, to recuperate off that clothesline. But now look at this. Goldust, this is not where he wants to be, as Luke Harper's now been tagged into the matchup. An elbow drop right between the shoulder blades of Goldust. And now a knee right to the back. Or more like the side of the ribs of Goldust there. And Goldust now eats a big punch there from Luke Harper. And Harper now just mocking Goldust right here. Harper showing his confidence, but Goldust manages to counter and take down Luke Harper. But Harper with a nice... Oh, he went for a clothesline. Only caught a glancing blow, but it was still enough to really knock Goldust down there. And Goldust really just having a hard time recovering from that clothesline, as, well, that time Harper would have hit it if Goldust hadn't managed to sidestep out of the way. And there's a backbreaker now to Luke Harper as he takes the big man down. But I mean, the Wyatt family, in the time that they've held the tag team titles, we've seen a lot of teams, you know, really rise and fall here. I mean, we've seen the teams step up like the likes of, I mean, we've seen Awesome Truth. I mean, they just made their return, or their debut as a tag team earlier on tonight. Teams like Swiss Thunder, the International Airstrike, the Usos. I mean, heck, the Usos even went so far as to take a shot at Eric Rowan on an episode of Main Event a couple of months back. Although, you know, the Usos aren't quite tag team championship material just yet. But, I mean, they definitely did make a statement. And then at the same time, we've seen teams like the Primetime Players, for example, who really have just self-destructed because of the Wyatt family. And then, of course, we have Tons of Funk, who, you know, for a while there, they were kind of a staple in the tag team division. But then, you know, after losing the tag team titles, they were both taken out by the Shield. And we haven't seen or heard from them since. In fact, their careers in Universe Mode may be over thanks to the Shield. And it's now Eric Rowan just delivering a plethora of vicious headbutts right to the face of Goldust. And Goldust, I mean, he's struggling to make it back to his feet here, but Rowan takes him down with a DDT when he does. And Goldust really needs to make a tag here to Booker T. As, oh, look at this. Eric Rowan. Just look at the force there, just shoving his knuckles into the sides, into the temples of Goldust. And now as we can see Booker T, he had no choice. He had to get in the ring to break up that pinfall. As Goldust is reeling right now. As, oh, now the back of Goldust's head bouncing off the mat with the force of Eric Rowan's attack there. And Rowan right now just relentless as he takes Goldust down. Went for a shoulder block, but Goldust able to counter, use Rowan's momentum against him into the cover, but Rowan kicks out before even a 2 count. And look at this right now. Goldust hits a running bulldog. And Goldust could be perhaps there to make a tag to Booker T, and he does. Booker T gets brought back into this matchup. Here we go. Booker T could potentially try to rally the troops here. Try to fire up a comeback for his team, as Goldust needs to take a breather over there on the ropes. He's taken a lot of punishment in his time in this matchup. But now Rowan went for a big boot, but Booker T managed to sidestep and delivers a nice clothesline to the back of the head of Eric Rowan. And Booker right now, he's got Eric Rowan right where he wants him. And Booker T, this is a good opportunity to get some momentum in the corner of Booker T and Goldust. As we can see, Booker T, oh, counter from Rowan with a big boot to the face. And another one right to the jaw of Booker T, drops him to the mat. And that is a game changer right there. That's a tide turner. And now Eric Rowan, he makes a tag to Luke Harper. And things are not looking good for Booker T. He's still out of it from that big boot. And Rowan with he just throws Luke Harper at Booker T, who delivers a clothesline. Booker could be out of this matchup. 1, 2. No, but Booker kicks out. Just barely at the last second, Booker T manages to keep himself alive in this matchup. Oh, but he's still out of it, as we can see. Harper delivers that signature maneuver, that face buster right there. And Booker T trying to crawl to the ropes, try to get himself back to his feet. Maybe even try to make a tag to Goldust, but Luke Harper wisely puts himself in between Booker T and Goldust, preventing a tag. But Booker now, he's got Harper in that corner, and all he needs to do is just make a tag to Goldust. But Luke Harper cuts him off with the pass, and he takes him down with a pump handle slam there. And oh, a huge spear in the ropes there, taking Goldust off the ropes. And Harper with a clothesline. Booker T got all caught up in the ropes there. I think Booker, I don't know if he's going to be able to get back into this thing after that. I mean, Luke Harper, he's just one big move away from putting Booker out of this match for good. As Harper, he's got Booker up on that top rope here. What is he going to do? Luke Harper, we don't normally see him go to the top rope. What the heck is Harper going to do? Oh, what a move off the top rope. A double underhook suplex off the top rope. Takes Booker T down in the center of the ring. And now Harper, I think he's looking for the finishing blow. He's looking for the coup de grace. Oh, there's the knee lift, and we know what this is setting up. The discus clothesline. Beautiful clothesline there by Luke Harper. Nearly decapitated Booker T. And he delivers a clothesline to Goldust. And this match, this is over. Count to 1,000. There's no way Booker can survive. And he does not. And the Wyatt family make another emphatic statement here tonight, proving that they still have what it takes to be the best here in the WWE, here in Universe Mode, as they now defeat Goldust and Booker T. They avenged their loss a couple of weeks ago on Monday Night Raw, and they retain their tag team titles, most importantly. And wow, what a victory that was for the Wyatt family, as we saw Harper, I mean, really, Booker T, it just all went downhill after Rowan nearly kicked his face in with that big boot. And wait a minute. Oh, no. Oh, no. This is not looking good. Oh, this can only mean one thing. This can only mean one thing, and that's Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt, he's here. And this is not good for Booker T and Goldust. As if the loss wasn't enough. Oh, no. There's Bray Wyatt. They're looking to make another statement. Looking to make another sacrifice here tonight to Sister Abigail. Oh, this is not good. Bray Wyatt. Well, there's only one thing Booker T can wait for, and that's the mat, as Bray Wyatt delivers Sister Abigail's kiss. And Bray Wyatt here at the Elimination Chamber takes another sacrifice. But you gotta think the Wyatt family, they've got to have the Shield in the back of their mind after what just went down on Monday Night Raw. The attack that was orchestrated by the Wyatt family while the lights went out. And you got to think, that was a direct statement to the Shield. That was a direct statement to Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins here tonight. But now we got to move on to the next matchup on the card. And it's the matchup I alluded to earlier, as this is a grudge match. A match between two former tag team partners, two former friends in the Primetime Players. As it's Titus O'Neil one-on-one with his new rival, Darren Young, here tonight. A man that Titus O'Neil has never been able to beat in singles competition. And I mean, after their recent downfall as a tag team, whether it was the Tag Team Championship loss to the Wyatt family or their two recent losses to the Usos, I mean, there has been a lot of dissension brewing between the Primetime Players, and finally it just all came to a boil last episode of SmackDown, where Titus O'Neil basically confronted Darren Young and told him that we're done as a tag team. Not only did he say that, but he said Darren Young would be his launching pad into superstardom. Now, I gotta think Darren Young, he was really shocked last episode of SmackDown when that happened at that moment. I mean, Darren didn't even know what to say. He was speechless by that point. But you gotta think by now, I mean, he's very frustrated. Darren Young, I mean, think of all the time these two have spent as a tag team. Back at SummerSlam, when they nearly got an opportunity at the tag team titles, I mean, even from then, Primetime Players definitely, you could see that they were a standout tag team. And although they could never quite just find the last missing piece to the puzzle that could launch them into becoming tag team champions, they still were one of the best here in Universe Mode. But in the end, their lack of success just seemed to get the better of them, and it especially went to Titus O'Neil, who really had just been on a downward spiral in his career, unable to win in singles competition and in tag team competition. And really, his inferiority complex to Darren Young eventually just got the better of him. I mean, it was, think all the way back to prior to Night of Champions, where they were qualifying to determine who would be in the King of the Ring tournament. Darren Young, of course, won that matchup against Titus O'Neil. And then you can even go so far back, well, not so far back, but more recently, to a couple of weeks ago on SmackDown, where Darren Young defeated Titus O'Neil once again in a matchup that they were using to try and vent their frustrations with each other, to put it behind them, move forward in the tag team division, and try to get back in the tag title picture. But it appears as though Titus O'Neil, that only just made things worse for him. It only heightened his inferiority complex and greatened his hatred for Darren Young, which finally just came to a boil in the last episode of SmackDown. But also at the same time, he took the pinfall in the most recent match against the Usos, which I'm sure didn't help things at all. But right now, Darren Young, I mean, in the end, Darren Young, he's got to be really frustrated with Titus O'Neil's actions, just to turn his back on the Primetime Players and to turn his back on him. And Darren believes that Titus O'Neil is turning his back on himself, and which is why Darren Young here tonight, I'm sure he's just going to try to beat some sense into Titus O'Neil. Really just try to beat the crap out of Titus O'Neil here tonight. Just try to maybe even injure Titus O'Neil, do whatever it takes to try to snap Titus O'Neil out of this funk that he's in. But Darren Young right now is really getting the upper hand on Titus O'Neil. He's in control. But as I say that, of course, Titus O'Neil counters. And Titus O'Neil here tonight, this is a must-win match for Titus O'Neil, because after all the barking he's done, especially on the last episode of SmackDown, I mean, he says that he's never been able to defeat Darren Young, and that Darren's going to be his launching pad into superstardom here tonight. Well, I mean, if Titus O'Neil loses, I think his career in Universe Mode is basically done, because he hasn't achieved anything he set out to do. And now if he would just lose to Darren Young yet again, that'd be the third time Titus lost to Darren Young. As we can see right now, Darren Young with that submission hold, that rear chin lock right there. But no, he had the knee right into the back as well. But Titus managed to outlast the submission hold, managed to slip out of it at the last second. And Darren Young went for an axe handle off the second rope, but Titus sidestepped it. And now he's going to catch Darren Young into this vertical suplex. But Darren Young, on the other hand, I mean, can he really afford to lose this match either? I mean, after everything that Titus O'Neil just said, Darren, this is a must-win for him, as he really wants vengeance now on his tag team partner. He wants his best friend back. But as we can see, there's a cover off the gutbuster, that shoulder gutbuster there. That's a move I've never seen Titus O'Neil use before, but it definitely makes an emphatic impact when he does indeed hit it. As Darren misses a dropkick, Titus O'Neil takes him down with a running STO. And now there's a cover by Titus, one, but a kick out by Darren Young. Darren manages to keep himself alive in this matchup. But Darren Young, perhaps, his anger with Titus O'Neil could potentially get the better of him here tonight. I mean, Darren, he's going to have to keep his anger in check. Otherwise, he's going to lose this matchup. Or maybe Darren doesn't even care about winning the matchup. Maybe all he cares about is just dismantling Titus O'Neil and just really knocking Titus O'Neil down a peg. But Darren Young right now, nope, Titus counters and now has him in a headlock, but Darren counters and he takes Titus O'Neil down to the mat. And Darren Young, look at this. Northern Light suplex. And now Darren Young. Oh, I think I know what he's going for here. He's got Titus O'Neil in the center of the ring. Delivers a leg drop. But that's not it, as he's going to go for the combination. The elbow drop. And then the forearm to the face of Titus O'Neil. And Darren Young now. Oh, he was asking the crowd. He was telling the crowd he's going to finish it. And the crowd is just waiting in anticipation for Darren Young to put away Titus O'Neil. And Darren Young, what's he going to go for? I thought he was maybe going to go for the gut check, but he seems to have other plans in mind. Oh, there's a big punch to the face. And oh no, we've seen this before. Darren Young, oh, the backbreaker, the back suplex, I should say, right onto the apron. And that does so much damage. I mean, the base of the spine landing on the hardest part of the ring, the apron. I mean, that could definitely take its toll. It'll do a lot of damage to the back, and Darren Young knows that. But Titus O'Neil now, he's got to try to get back into this thing. As now he's got Darren Young back to his feet. And now what's Titus going for? There's an Irish whip to Darren Young, and look at this. Oh, this power slam there. And he thinks that's it. He thinks it's over. 2 count. And oh, Darren Young kicks out of the last second. That was almost a 3 count. But then again, almost doesn't count. As now, as we can see, Darren Young delivers a big punch to the face of Titus O'Neil. But Titus with a counter. And now look at it. Oh, wait, Darren Young's got him. He's got him with a small package. 2 count. And now Titus O'Neil kicks out at the last second. It was a very close call for Titus O'Neil. He almost saw this matchup go up in smoke. Wait, what is Darren Young going for? He's got Titus O'Neil up on that top rope. What the heck is Darren Young looking to do here? Oh, he's thinking superplex. And this is not going to be good for either man in this matchup. Either participant is Darren Young, though. Right back to his feet off that superplex. And now he's going to the top rope here. What is Darren Young looking to do? Oh, a leg drop off the top rope. And you got to be kidding me. Darren Young still isn't done. He's back up on the top rope again. Darren Young delivers a second leg drop to Titus O'Neil. And surely he's not going to go for another one. You got to be kidding me. Darren Young has already hit 2 leg drops. And he's back to the top looking for something else. Titus, he's trying to get to his feet. And Darren just waiting. Just waiting for... Oh, but Titus O'Neil almost playing possum there. And he caught Darren Young with a surprise punch to the face. Oh, and look at Titus. Titus O'Neil, a fall-away slam off the second rope. And that really could take Darren Young out of this matchup. Titus O'Neil, there's that shoulder gutbuster again. And this time, that could be the deciding factor. And it is. Titus O'Neil gets the win over Darren Young here tonight. And wow, what a back-and-forth matchup that was between these two competitors. You could just feel the hatred just oozing off these two men. You could just feel it in the air that there was something more than just a match here tonight. This was just a battle for retribution, a battle between two bitter enemies. I mean, former friends. You gotta say that the best. I mean, even Triple H has said it in the past. You know, people, when he refers to himself and Shawn Michaels, that they make best friends, but they make even better enemies. And I think that's the case here tonight between the formerly the Primetime Players. I think that was the case here tonight between Darren Young and Titus O'Neil. They really just took each other to their limits. But in the end, I think Darren Young's, his frustrations got the better of him and allowed Titus O'Neil to sneak in the victory. Here we go. It is now time for the United States Championship match between the champion, the Mexican aristocrat Alberto Del Rio, and his opponent, the Swiss Superman Cesaro. And this is going to be one for the ages, I think. I mean, Cesaro, it's been a long time coming for him to even get this opportunity at the U.S. title. I mean, he's had chances in the past where he could, he would come very close to making it into that contender's picture. But in the end, of course, just even recently where the title's been switching back and forth between the likes of Jack Swagger and Alberto Del Rio. I mean, with the rematch clauses getting in the way, Cesaro just hasn't quite managed to step up and get his one-on-one opportunity, get what's rightfully his. But of course, he did get the opportunity in the Survivor Series 6-man Battle Royal for the U.S. title, which was, of course, won by Alberto Del Rio. That's when he won his first United States Championship, although he lost it at TLC to Swagger, but he then won it back at the Royal Rumble to become a 2-time United States champion. But his reign could once again come to a very screeching halt if Cesaro can score the win here tonight. It would be yet another short stint as U.S. champion for Alberto Del Rio. So, I mean, I don't know, this is a make-or-break-it match, I think, for Del Rio. Because if he loses here, I mean, if he loses to Cesaro here, you know, people are going to begin to question if he really has what it takes to become a main staple here on Monday Night Raw. I mean, we saw on SmackDown, he is a former World Heavyweight Champion, but once he lost the title at Over the Limit, I mean, he really wasn't a huge factor over on SmackDown. He did get an opportunity at SummerSlam, but came up short. And then, of course, when he made the move over to Raw, it was finally the point where Del Rio could kind of kickstart his career once again, kind of hit the reset button, and he had a whole new opportunity to reinvent himself, reinvent the Alberto Del Rio character, and, you know, he's taken it in a completely different direction than where he was on SmackDown. And he's really, I think, found success here on Raw as the U.S. champion. But it may be short-lived success. I mean, if he loses here to Cesaro, where does Del Rio go from here? He does have a rematch clause if he would lose, but at the same time, I mean, all the momentum that he had from winning the title would be completely derailed. And even more so, because this is the second time that he would have held the championship for only a month before losing it back to somebody else. Whereas Cesaro, he's had a long time to get prepared for this matchup, ever since he made his Universe Mode debut prior to SummerSlam. Cesaro, ever since then, he's really been working his way to get an opportunity one-on-one for the U.S. title. And tonight, that finally comes to fruition. So we'll have to see if he does indeed have what it takes to defeat Del Rio here tonight and capture his first ever United States Championship reign. His first ever U.S. Championship, U.S. title. But here we go, nice German suplex there from Cesaro. This is going to be an obvious power versus speed matchup, although I'd have to say Del Rio's got far more elements to his offense than just speed. You know, he's also a submission expert with that cross arm breaker especially. We did see Del Rio use a single leg Boston Crab to beat Swagger at the Royal Rumble. So, I mean, Cesaro also has got to watch out for that, because we know Del Rio likes to attack those legs of his opponents as well with some of those vicious kicks he possesses. As we can see right there, is a drop kick, a very fine example of those vicious kicks Del Rio likes to use. And there's a belly-to-belly suplex. Del Rio also very much a technician in that ring, and you know, he's a very mat-based style of wrestling, but he can even go to the top rope if necessary. Whereas Cesaro, you know, he's got some speed in his arsenal as well. He can definitely catch it with an explosive move if you're not prepared. He's got those devastating uppercuts. He's got a lot of upper body strength, does Cesaro. Which is why we'll see him use moves like that gut-wrench suplex. We've seen him use that a number of times, where he'll just lift people up from the mat. Of course, that uppercut will catapult people into the air. That takes a lot of upper body strength. And Cesaro, I mean, he has that in abundance. And then, of course, that Cesaro swing. I mean, that's obviously, you know, a huge showcase of Cesaro's power, something unique to his own abilities. And I just got interrupted. So this is going to be fun to try and edit, because when I went to hit the stop recording button, I missed it, or it didn't like register. So this is going to be interesting trying to edit this into place. But anyway, let's focus back on the matchup at hand as I was talking about. But also later on tonight, there's only one more match, and that is, well, one more match. You know, that's kind of ironic that I would use that statement. It was accidental, of course, so it's accidental irony. Because Christian is in that matchup for the World Heavyweight Championship Elimination Chamber. And one more match. That was... wow. I can't believe I just did that. Anywho, back to the match that we have right now. As Del Rio right now, he's in control. As he caught Cesaro with that kick to the back of the head, the corner and Ziggler earlier on. But Del Rio takes Cesaro down now. As we also know, Del Rio likes to target those arms. So Cesaro, he's got to be careful because that cross arm breaker, once it gets locked in, I mean, we've seen Del Rio apply that cross arm breaker in the past, and people tap out within seconds. That just shows how devastating a submission hold it truly is. And Del Rio's calling for it. He's looking for the cross arm breaker, and he's got it locked in. Cesaro's in trouble. Cesaro, can he power out of this, or is he going to be forced to tap out? Otherwise, Del Rio could break his arm here. Cesaro, his long legs, even with those long legs, the extra reach, he can't quite reach the ropes for a rope break. But he does just manage to slip out of it. And oh, there's an uppercut. Using his good... Oh, Del Rio went for the enziguri to the back of the head once again. But Cesaro managed to sidestep it and now hits an uppercut on Alberto Del Rio. And he's using that good arm. He's using that right arm. But Del Rio, you know... Oh, once again going after the left arm there with that side Russian leg sweep. And Del Rio really just going to work now on that left arm of Cesaro. Try to weaken it potentially for a second cross arm breaker should it come to that. Of course, Cesaro's also got to watch out for Del Rio's super... Oh, Del Rio, he's going right back for that cross arm breaker. He doesn't want to allow Cesaro any time to recover. Once again in the center of the ring. And Cesaro, no, he taps out. He's forced to tap out. He couldn't make it to the ropes. And, you know, after just managing to slip out of that first cross arm breaker, I mean, there's really nothing Cesaro could do but tap out to that second cross arm breaker. And Alberto Del Rio, once again, retains the United States Championship. Well, I guess that's the first time I can ever really say that. Because in the past, Del Rio, he's lost it immediately to whoever he's faced. But tonight, you know, Del Rio proves that he is not just a one-shot champion, that he can have longevity as the United States champion. And he can also prove that he can go toe-to-toe with the best of the best, as he's beaten Cesaro, who is without a doubt the top challenger for the title up to this point. So the question is, who can beat Del Rio? But you gotta think, you know, maybe is Cesaro going to try to go back for a rematch with Del Rio? I mean, Cesaro, we know he's had a very strong performance, you know, for a while now. It hasn't just been a lucky month for Cesaro. He has been at the top of his game for several months now. And it was only a matter of time before he got this opportunity. So, I mean, Cesaro could potentially just bounce right back and go right back after Del Rio if he can just score a couple of victories. But, I don't know, we're just going to have to wait to see what the future holds for that United States Championship, what the future holds for Del Rio, and what the future holds for Cesaro. Because right now, we have to focus on our main event, and this is the World Heavyweight Championship Elimination Chamber. And it's the first time we've seen Edge or Christian set foot in a WWE ring since WWE 2K15 season finale. And you gotta think, the last time Christian competed in a matchup, he lost to Dolph Ziggler. And Christian did seem a bit frustrated about that. He refused to shake Dolph Ziggler's hand after the match. Although Christian, you know, he did apologize after that. You know, he stated that, you know, he just let his emotions kind of get the better of him. He was frustrated after failing to defeat Mark Henry for the World Heavyweight Championship in a TLC match at TLC. But then, you know, the episode of SmackDown prior to TLC, the last time Edge competed in, you know, a match where, against Mark Henry, I should say, Edge defeated Mark Henry. So, I mean, you gotta think, Edge, he was supposed to face Mark Henry for the for the World Heavyweight Championship at the Royal Rumble. However, circumstances just did not allow that to happen, unfortunately. But now, finally, Edge and Christian are back in the WWE. They're back on SmackDown, and they're back challenging for the World Heavyweight Championship. So, I mean, I'm sure Edge definitely wants to make a statement here tonight out of Mark Henry. And, you know, the same goes for Christian. As you can see right now, they're working together to take out the world's strongest man. And you got to think, Mark Henry has been a dominant World Heavyweight Champion. He has dominated SmackDown since winning the title. You got to think back to when he won the title. Well, even before he won the title. Let's take you back to King of the Ring at Night of Champions, where Mark Henry defeated the likes of Triple H, Shawn Michaels, who both made one-night-only appearances for the sake of the King of the Ring tournament. Mark Henry defeated both of those men, defeated Wade Barrett, and then defeated The Undertaker to become King of the Ring and also become the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship at No Way Out, which, of course, that's exactly what happened. Mark Henry defeated Sheamus at No Way Out, and then retained the title, I said earlier, at TLC, but prior to that at Survivor Series in a triple threat match against Sheamus and Chris Jericho. So Mark Henry, he's beaten Wade Barrett, he's beaten Christian, he's beaten Chris Jericho, he's beaten Sheamus. The only person Mark Henry has not been able to defeat is Edge. And, you know, that's probably why I would say Edge could be the favorite to win this matchup if it wasn't for the fact that Edge and Christian have been out of action for several months prior to this point. They've been out of action since December, so they've been out of action for 2 months, approximately. And look at this! Edge eliminates Mark Henry off the execution DDT as Christian hits a reverse DDT on the outside. But that means that we're going to have a brand new World Heavyweight Champion. And think, Sheamus hasn't even entered the matchup yet, but Mark Henry's already been eliminated. That is huge. That is a game changer for the rest of this matchup, because you'd have to think Mark Henry would have been the main target. He doesn't call himself the King of SmackDown for no reason. I mean, Mark Henry, he's crushed anybody who stood in his way. The likes of Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho, Sheamus, Christian, Barrett. I mean, Mark Henry's really just defeated any challenger who stepped up to face him. Sheamus hasn't even entered the matchup yet, so you gotta think, Sheamus right now, he's got the best opportunity to win the title. I mean, not only because these other superstars have been competing for quite a while now in this matchup, but they've already done the dirty work really for Sheamus. They've eliminated Mark Henry. So now Sheamus really just has to set his sights on who he sees to be the strongest challenger and go right after him, or maybe even just let the other participants in this matchup take out the strongest challenger. And of course, this is a multi-man match, so we will see temporary alliances, but in the end, it's every man for himself. So we'll have to see how long exactly those alliances last. Jericho goes for the cover on Edge, but no, Edge kicks out at the last second. That was a close call there for Edge. And I just noticed that the referee is actually in the ring for the Elimination Chamber match. That was never the case on the PlayStation 3 in those games. If I recall correctly, I mean, maybe in 2K14 he was, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't. So that's something new. That's something good. Good progress for WWE games, that we can actually get the referee in the ring. But as we can see now, Edge is up on the second rope, but, you know, decides against it, as Sheamus kind of got in the way of whatever Edge was going for. But, I mean, right now, I mean, who would you say is probably the favorite to win? I mean, like I said, Edge, he's just eliminated the world's strongest man. He's eliminated the World Heavyweight Champion from the match. So I have to think Edge, he's got momentum on his side. And just in terms of the fact that he's beaten Mark Henry not once, but twice now, Edge could be the favorite. But, of course, ring rust could potentially, you know, get the better of him here. We've got somebody like Barrett, who's been on a winning streak as of late. But right now, he looks like he's in a bit of trouble. And then I'd say the only other person to maybe consider is maybe Christian, because, I mean, he's, in the time that, you know, he's been absent, not only while just helping Edge in terms of filming new episodes for Haven starring Christian, but you got to think that those two men have been training. And you got to think, if Christian was training with Edge, the man who just eliminated Mark Henry from this matchup, that should hopefully, for Christian's sake, heighten his abilities even more. So I think Edge and Christian, at this point, are two superstars you definitely watch out for. And Jericho knows that. He saw Edge eliminate Mark Henry, and now Jericho's looking to eliminate Edge. Walls of Jericho applied, and Edge is tapping out. And I mean, really, what could Edge do by that point? Not only is the Walls of Jericho devastating enough of a submission hold, but the fact that it was outside on the chamber floor, I mean, that just adds even more damage from that submission hold. Is not only is your back just being completely wrenched out of place, but look at this Christian kill switch. He hits the kill switch on Bad News Barrett. That could be it. Cover by Christian. 1, 2, 3. Barrett is out of this matchup. We are down to Chris Jericho, Sheamus, and Christian. We're going to have a new world champion here tonight. Who is it going to be? It's going to be one of these three men. And oh, look at Sheamus. Sheamus is looking to get Christian out of this match as soon as possible as he hits white noise. Cover on Christian. 1. No, Christian kicks out. Now look at Jericho. Jericho hits a code breaker. Sheamus could be out of it. 1, 2, 3. Sheamus is eliminated. And we are down to two former tag team partners in Vitamin C. It is Chris Jericho and Christian. And look at Chris Jericho wasting a little time. He's got a submission hold applied. He couldn't quite get the walls of Jericho locked in from that position. But nonetheless, Jericho is a submission expert. And he's really wearing out the back of Christian. Really trying to set him up for the walls of Jericho. And now Christian, he's got Jericho over into the corner. But as I was saying earlier when I was touching on the walls of Jericho, I mean, especially if Jericho can get Christian out to the floor, out to the Elimination Chamber floor, I should say, like he did Edge. I mean, not only would he be wrenching Jericho's back for the walls, or Christian's back for the walls of Jericho, but he would also, wait, sunset flip by Christian, but a kick out by Jericho. But then also, you know, your frontal side is being pressed up against the chamber floor, and that is solid steel. So it's almost like you're being attacked from both your backside and your front side. And I don't know, that sounds... Anyway, covered by Christian. There's a roll, but Jericho manages to kick out of the last second. And I mean, you know, your ribs and you're just being torn up by the chamber floor. And then at the same time, you know, your muscles, your back is just being completely just torn out of place from the walls of Jericho, and your legs as well. So I mean, really, I mean, that's definitely a devastating submission hold in this kind of environment. Look at Jericho, gets taken down by Christian with a side Russian leg sweep. And Jericho getting back to his feet here. Christian, I mean, wait, Christian, he's going for the kill switch, and he hits it. Christian hits the kill switch, but he's, you know, he's a bit drained right now. He couldn't quite capitalize, and oh no, I think he's got something else in mind. Well, he may have been thinking spear there, as I mean, after Jericho eliminated Edge, we saw Christian earlier was trying to kind of help Edge out a little bit, especially against Mark Henry. So you got to think maybe Christian was trying to pay homage to his friend, but that could cost him. But he managed to kick out of the pinfall attempt there. It's down to 2, Jericho and Christian. Team Canada in this matchup. I mean, we're gonna see a new world champion. We're gonna see, for the first time ever, a Canadian World Heavyweight Champion in Universe Mode. Not like that really means anything, but you know, it's fun universe statistic, I guess. I mean, we got to think about Mark Henry. How long had Henry held the championship? I mean, he was a very dominant champion in his own right, and after holding the title for 84 days, which, you know, that was only about 3 months, but still, nonetheless. Wait, Jericho was going for the walls of Jericho. Christian managed to slip out of it, though. But I mean, still at the same time, Mark Henry crushed a lot of opponents in those 3 months. But Christian now, as we can see, trading back and forth in the corner with Jericho. And there's an uppercut off the second rope. And Christian right now, what is Christian going to do here? He's just kind of measuring Jericho, just looking to pick his spot. Waiting for Jericho to get back to his feet. And Christian, countered by Jericho. And there's a kick to the back of the leg. Once again, trying to soften Christian up, potentially for the walls of Jericho. Maybe even the Lion Tamer, which we've seen is like a more intense version of the walls of Jericho, where he just really, you're almost placed on your head in that submission hold. And that could be especially even more devastating out on the chamber floor. As we can see, Jericho, wait, counter by Christian into a roll-up. 1, 2, oh! Jericho kicks out of the last second. That was a close call for Jericho. You cannot afford to let your guard down. Oh, but wait a minute. This provides an opening for Christian as he hits the kill switch. He could have him. Christian, 1, 2, 3. We've got a new World Heavyweight Champion as Christian, Captain Charisma, wins the gold here tonight. And you got to give a huge thanks to his friend Edge, who eliminated Mark Henry early on in this contest. And then by that point, I mean, that was a game changer. When you eliminate the world's strongest man, the man who calls himself the King of SmackDown, who has defeated, you know, the majority of the opponents in this matchup. I mean, that's definitely a game changer. A tide turner. And in the end, Christian, when it came down to him and Jericho, Christian just managed to catch Chris Jericho off guard. And then got him with the kill switch. The first kill switch wasn't enough. Well, then the second definitely was. And Christian here tonight, I mean, just look at that. Christian with the World Heavyweight Championship around his waist. A fitting return for Christian, as he was unable to beat Mark Henry at TLC. But tonight, Christian, he manages to finally capture the World Heavyweight Championship here in Universe Mode. For the first time ever, Christian is your World Heavyweight Champion. So gotta give huge props for Christian. And what a pay-per-view that was. I want to thank you all for watching. Keep on YouTubing.